In today's episode, I am sharing how to stay mindful, calm, and present leading into Christmas. My tips are the only two things you need to do. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to Live Mindfully with Laurie Moore, the podcast that invites us all to slow down, take a deep breath in, and show up as the most mindful, most wholehearted people we can each day. So, 'tis the season, is it not? It definitely feels that way, and it is certainly showing in the people that I am crossing paths with. So in addition to Christmas being the most wonderful time of the year for me, it also happens to be when I see some of the worst characteristics in the human race and in myself. And I get it. We're time poor, we're spending a lot of money, we're trying to wrap up this year's projects, we're trying to plan for next year. Our to-do lists and capture lists and calendars are going bananas, and perhaps you are like some of the few people in my life where stuff has really not gone their way, and you are just feeling the pinch of life right now. And if that is the case, that's tough. And I'm really sorry that you're going through this. And sometimes life sucks. But you're strong. I know that you are. And remember, it's okay to lean on the people around you, and it's okay to feel your feelings, and it's okay if right now it just doesn't feel like it makes sense. You have full permission to be where you are. So, in this crazy, fun time of year, there is a way to remain grounded and sane and kind and compassionate and patient. I feel like patience is the thing that skips away from all of us when we're overwhelmed. And it is by really grounding into some of our already very well practiced, I hope, mindfulness activities. And the first and possibly the biggest thing we need to get on top of, and really if this is all you do, you'll take yourself a long way to a calmer Christmas, is limiting distractions. When we have a million things running through our brains, all of the present shopping, booking Santa photos, school concerts, birthday parties, end of year parties, teacher gifts, setting up all the Christmas decorations, planning for Christmas Day meals, last minute holiday plans and organization. There is literally so much synaptic connection happening within the brain, it'll feel like it is short-circuiting. And the only way you are going to stay laser focused is through limiting distractions. If you haven't taken the time to set up do not disturb on your phone, now is the time. I have an iPhone. There are 4 options on iPhone. Android, I am sure, is similar. I have all 4 options set up. But for now, you only need to set up one. And it's the big one for me, work mode. Sleep mode is also really important, but if you only have time to set up one, do work mode. You can automate all of these modes. My work mode is scheduled to run or to turn on at 8:45 a.m. each morning and to turn off at 2 p.m. each afternoon. Monday to Friday. And the only people who have access to me are my husband and my kids' school. And I have all the apps turned off and all other notifications off too. If I know I'm going to receive an important phone call that I can't miss, I add that number. And if I don't know the number, I turn work mode off until I receive that call. And then boom, once I've done that phone call, it goes straight back on. I promise you that what will take you 15 to 30 minutes to do tonight or right now will save your bacon for months to come. Then if you have time, also set up sleep mode. And if you want to become really hyper-focused, set up screen time and app limits. For me, that has been amazing because at 8:30 p.m. when I'm exhausted and I want to scroll Facebook mindlessly, I have this visual reminder that this app is not available. Do I override it? Yeah, sometimes I do because I love a comedy reel, and who doesn't? But having the visual cue that that app's not available reminds me, hey, I'm supposed to be winding down now. If I keep feeding my brain with information, even if it is passive scrolling, it's going to be harder for me to fall asleep. And then tomorrow, it's going to be harder for me to stay focused. Now, jumping back to work mode, when I have work mode activated every single day, I don't need to set it, it does it automatically. I can literally go hours without being disturbed by my phone. And it's right next to me. It's right next to me right now. And I am still blown away by how much stuff I get done just by having my phone in work mode. Now, the other thing that is really important is to get organized. Christmas tends to be the time of year when we overindulge. We drink too much, we eat too much, and we spend too much. And mostly this happens because we simply aren't very organized. This year, the Black Friday to Cyber Monday sales snuck up on me. They've just happened. And this caused me a great deal of unnecessary stress. So Proactive Laurie has added a couple of reminders into the calendar for next year. It took me just a couple of seconds to add in some reminders so next year it doesn't sneak up on me. And future Laurie will be really impressed that I did this. The thing is, this time of year is full of overstimulation. And we spoke about this last episode, this concept of meeting ourselves where we are. If nothing else lands for you in this episode, I really want this concept to land. Your vibrational frequency will seek to match that of the environment around you. Your vibrational frequency will seek to match that of the environment around you. If you are in a chaotic, frenzied environment, let's say Westfields, and you have not come prepared, your mind will send you crazy. You will be pulled in a million different directions. You'll overspend, you'll overindulge, you'll walk away feeling completely exhausted. It's so important to come prepared. Don't hit the shops online or in person without a list, without knowing what you're going to buy. Do your research around prices before you go and make sure you show up with a very good idea of what you are purchasing. The same goes for all of your forthcoming functions. Don't attend those unprepared. Know what your budget is, know how you're getting there and how you're getting home, Be aware of how many other functions you have that week. Be aware of what you have going on the next day. And if a hangover and a late night isn't going to serve you very well, choose to drive. Set a time that you're going to leave. Plan ahead. Come prepared. The other important thing is to get all of the things that are running through your brain down onto your capture list so that your brain can relax. Nothing makes us feel more overwhelmed than having this constant thought of, oh, far out, I've got to remember that. Oh, what was that thing I was thinking about earlier? I really needed to remember that. Make a list. Make as many lists as you need to get what needs to be done down leading into Christmas. Make lists for your groceries, for the presents that need to be bought. Make lists for everything that needs to be done. Get it out of your brain and get it onto a list. Be very deliberate about what lists you are creating. If you have a thought, I need to remember that, put it down somewhere, put it on a list, write it down. Don't add pressure to your brain to remember it when your brain is already trying to function at a level that is much higher than it ordinarily would. Because you know you're going to forget it. We forget it. We always do. And if the items that require planning go down onto the lists, then you need to take them to the calendar. You need to open up your calendar and you need to block out time for that activity. This past weekend, there were 3 things that needed to happen. We had a birthday party, we had a Santa photo, and we had the Christmas, Black Friday to Cyber Monday shopping. I blocked out Friday to Monday. I had a catch up with a friend. I texted my friend and I said, I need to reschedule this. I moved and cancelled a ton of other things so that I could make those 3 things that needed to happen. It's just so important to understand that without preparation, without organization for each of the things that need to happen this next month, you are going to arrive to Christmas Day a frazzled mess. And maybe you've done that year after year after year, and this year you've decided things are going to be different. Lists are one of the best ways to drive clarity and action. Make the list, make the lists, and then open up that calendar and work out where you have the resources and time to complete the items on those lists. And whatever is not a 2023 problem needs to be shifted to 2024. If you have a lunch with a friend, but you also know you're going to see them at a forthcoming function, consider whether you need to still do both. If you have a weekly catch-up with a family member, but you know you'll see them at Christmas, maybe you can rain check all future dinner dates to 2024. Be tough. Your time is your greatest resource. And it is also what quickly becomes on short supply at this time of year. Really look at the next 4 weeks and be really, really clear on what stays in your calendar, on what is cancelled, and on what can be moved to 2024. And then make sure all of the non-negotiables, the school concert, the work projects, the Christmas decorations, and any other important deadlines are in that calendar first. And once that is done, then start to schedule all the other things that are on the lists. The most important things will make it into the calendar. The rest will be negotiated out. But if you don't take those lists and schedule them in, they will become a source of more stress for you. limit distractions, and get organized. And if you do those two things, you will sail into Christmas grounded, calm, present, and most importantly, patient. And remember, you've got this. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. For those playing along, this marks 1 year for the Live Mindfully podcast. 1 year. How crazy is that? My very first episode aired on 30th of November 2022. So I am so grateful for your patronage and your ears and your advice and your support. I will be back again next week with another great episode. Share this one with your family and friends and across your social media. If you haven't already, click follow in your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode. Until next time, take good care of yourself.